Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Some days back, IGP had given instruction and order that police officers and police personnel that were attached to VIPs, politicians, clergymen, churches, organizations should be withdrawn. They listed some of the names and are saying that they need their police officers, their personnel at the appropriate places, but definitely not with VIPs anymore. Well, I can assure you that the VIPs have decided to respond, and it will shock you what their response is. But before we go into the news proper for the analysis, I'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, 3 weeks after Mohammed Adamu, the Inspector General of Police IGP, gave a directive on the withdrawal of police orderlies attached to VIPs, politicians, business leaders, and entertainers, findings revealed that order has largely been ignored. Rather than release the policemen at their disposal back to the police authorities so as to complement the existing personnel in securing the properties, it was discovered that many VIPs and politicians have added more police personnel due to the recent attacks by hoodlums in the aftermath of the #EndSARS protest. During Sunday's meeting in Lagos between Southwest governors and traditional rulers to proffer solution to the destruction in the region by hoodlums by many policemen were seen escorting dignitaries invited to the event, despite the fact that IGP was also in attendance at that meeting. Speaking, a senior police officer in Lagos who spoke on condition of anonymity said many of the police personnel attached to VIPs also don't want to leave due to extra pay. Of course, that they actually receive extra pay that augment their salaries. He also added that some of the policemen he has spoken to said they find it difficult to resume at police stations now because of the massive damages done to the buildings by the hoodlums, which are yet to be renovated. It's a difficult thing. One, the situation in the country is still tensed. We are yet to see the end of the #EndSARS crisis. That is why you haven't seen many policemen on the street. Also, many of these VIPs are still living in fear and demanding improved security. Due to the insufficient number of policemen, some are even employing the services of vigilantes, OPC, and others. So, it's a difficult period to withdraw police security from them. Maybe that can be done after normalcy has returned to the country. Also, if you withdraw these policemen, which station will they resume at? Many of the police stations have been destroyed, while others are in bad shape. These are factors that make the IGP directives a difficult thing to obey now. He said, before the latest directive in March 2018, former Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris ordered an immediate withdrawal of police orderlies attached to private individuals and companies. The order was ignored as the then IGP could not ensure its enforcement. President Muhammadu Buhari had in 2015 directed the police personnel attached to unauthorized persons and VIPs in the country to be withdrawn and deployed to confront the security challenges in the country. In 2018 as well, the Police Service Commission, PSC, said the commission in conjunction with MPF had commenced withdrawal of police officers, but the exercise was stalled due to lack of funds. Former chairman of PSC, Mike Okiro, said the police force could not afford to have more than half of its officers in private hands, lamenting that the enforcement of the order on withdrawal of policemen attached to unqualified presence in the country could not be sustained due to lack of funds. Speaking on the latest directive by the IGP, Monday Obani, a former second vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), said the order by IGP is just a mere talk to force the VIPs who are in dire need of police protection to pay more for their services. That has always been the procedure and process the previous IGPs have adopted. What they do is to say that they have withdrawn the police orderlies from VIPs, but you find out that they are asking for is basically for the VIPs to come and renew their service charge. It's just business as usual. It is not as if those guys will be withdrawn. Is it that they have improved the issue of security in the country that you're asking for policemen to be withdrawn from these VIPs? These are people that cannot do without police protection, and now you're asking that these orderlies be withdrawn? What I see is that with this fresh directive, the VIPs will pay higher amount to ensure that they retain their policemen. If anyone expects that those policemen will be withdrawn, such a person is only joking. To me, it's just business. A new IGP that comes in will issue the same directive. Yinka Odomakin, Pers0nnel National Publicity Secretary, said it to be difficult to implement the directive by IGP owing to the pecuniary interest involved. It is clear that policemen who are attached to VIPs, when they get their privileges, some of their superiors also benefit from these privileges. So it's not easy to carry out such a directive because they will not want the legacies to go easily. When contacted, first public relations officer DCP Frank Mba said since the IGP gave the directive of the withdrawal of police escort, he is in a better position to assess the level of compliance. Mba said the police force has made significant progress in ensuring that the directive is being carried out, adding that the failure of some police orderlies to comply with the directive is not due to disobedience but due to operational issues. He said first of all, we need to understand that the directive was given by IGP himself based on his assessment of the dynamics and deployment and the manpower allocation and need for report. It wasn't a directive that was imposed by some external forces. It was originated by the IGP. It was conceived by the IGP, originated by him, and issued out by him. So there's no better person to assess the progress of that directive than IGP himself. I think we must understand that. I will tell you categorically that the directive is being enforced. There are circumstances where there might be a time frame before that directive can be 100% implemented due to operational issues and others. Also, there might be some delays which are not a consequence of disobedience, but that of operation. I can tell you that particular directive is being carried out, and the force has made a significant progress in withdrawing these personnel attached to these persons in that category. Wow. Some days back, one of the politicians, Magnus Abe, was saying that it's difficult, really. Why would you want to withdraw orderlies and personnel attached to some of these politicians? Especially now that it is almost difficult, knowing fully well that this security situation has become a serious issue. It's almost consuming the country because of one or two inadequacies. Now Nigerians are saying, one or two Nigerians here are saying, look, these are just mere talks, just a case of these VIPs coming over, let them renew the charges. But the challenge right now that we're having is, right now the personnel lacks manpower, judging the number of people we have in this nation and the crime rates and crime issues. There have been a lot of kidnapping in so many parts of the country, and it's part of the duty of the government, part of the duty of the police officer to ensure lives and safety. So if for any reason the more hands they are taking from, the more hands the VIPs have taken is not allowing them to do the needful, then by all means IGP may need to enforce the law. But they're saying that in effect that there's just mere talks, that is practically it has not been enforced, although the publicity man Frank himself, Inspector Frank, is saying that it's not doable, that it's doable rather, that the people are they're already complying. Even if they want to comply, where are the police stations they are going to redeploy them? Some of these police stations are burnt down during the NSAS protests by hoodlums, of course. And, but in all, it clearly shows that this insecurity needs to be tackled by all and sundry. It should not be a thing of it's the poor people, because the truth is be told, even the policemen are also humans and they need adequate protection, even if it means moral support or even salary increment. One of the things that will make them not want to leave the VVIP or the VIP simply because of those arguments, just allow that are augmenting their salary is much more needed. It's important to them. the salaries. But right now the salaries have improved. Let's see how it plays out. Let's meet in that comment section. What's your take on what these guys are saying, that despite the IGP's directive, they still have not obeyed, because